And we are live from the spring games in Claremont, Florida. Top half of inning number one between the College of Staten Island and the University of Mary. Alexis Miramontes in the circle for the College of Staten Island. As right now, they are not updating the scoreboard in the outfield, so we are going off of our live stats. This is Joe Foreman on the call, alongside this week's van driver, Joe Calabrese. Joe, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we have a strikeout to start the game for the Dolphins, Joe.
We'll get you the full lineups momentarily. Unfortunately, we do not have word rosters for every team, so we're going to do our best. The University of Mary, the Marauders, taking on the Dolphins. And for the University of Mary, this is game number 18, assuming they haven't already played today. I'll have to double check that as well. But Joe, a lot of the time, some games that are played early in the day are not updated on the schedule page before we get underway, so we don't often see the entire record of a team reflected.
That is correct, Joe. I believe this is their first game of the day as well.
That one hit on the ground to Olivia Warner at second. And the throw goes to first in time for a quick second out. At the plate there was Janelle Malari. We'll get you the full lineup shortly. Unfortunately, for me anyway, our stat crew application does not have numbers in the lineup. So we have last names only, and that's what we'll go with down the lineup as that pitch is fouled off, 0-1. The rest of the lineup for the Marauders: Ratuda, Perez, Hunter, Villaneda, Szymanski, Falk, Kimberling, and then in the circle will be Chambers. We'll have full names as each player comes to bat, of course, but right now we're utilizing stat crew. Double duty for me once again. I was at baseball last weekend performing the same double duty. Live stats available at csidolphins.com for all of our games here in Claremont, as that's lined through the middle for a base hit. It's a two-out single for Ariana Ratuda, and the Marauders have a two-out base runner. At the plate now will be Soraya Perez. First pitch from Miramontes on its way, and that's in at the knees for a called strike one. Miramontes saw limited action for the Dolphins last year. Pitch on its way, and that's fouled off. Count quickly, 0-2 on Perez. Dolphins did give a look toward Ratuda over at first following the first pitch of the at-bat. Feigned a throw behind her. Miramontes now ahead of the Marauders' third baseman, 0-2. Pitch from Miramontes on its way, and that sails high for ball one. For those just joining us once again, unfortunately, we are not being allowed to stream with audio. Though if it were up to me, I might have done it anyway. Stay tuned throughout the rest of the week. I can be sneaky. As the 1-2 misses outside. Count even at 2. I do believe the game changer device was just taken into the dugout by the Dolphins. They are updating the outfield scoreboard from the dugout, as it is the responsibility of the home team to operate the scoreboard. I don't know if their iPad that they had behind the plate is linked to Game Changer right now. If you do want video of the games, you can get that video over at Flow Softball and then pair our audio with it, and you have a complete stream, as that's hit well deep to right center field, and that will find the gap for an extra base hit. Perez being sent home. She's in to score, and it's an RBI double for Perez. My mistake. It was Ratuda who came in to score, and with that, the Marauders go ahead by a score of 1-0. At the plate now for the University of Mary is Madison Hunter. Hunter gets the start in right field today. Her team with an early 1-0 lead as that's hit a mile high out to center. Hit pretty well. But underneath it to make the catch is Carcano for the final out in the. And we are back from the spring games in Claremont as the College of Staten Island comes to bat for the first time on this trip, trailing 1-0. Mariah Carcano will lead things off for the Dolphins. The rest of the CSI lineup: Balderas, Anissa Acosta, Stalker, Warner, Motley, Wanzer, Alyssa Acosta, and Madeline Paul. Once again, Joe Foreman on the call alongside Joe Calabrese. Perhaps later in the week we'll try and get our camera set up in a bit of a discreet fashion. But as for right now, we cannot stream with video.
Go ahead and run that scoreboard. The white remote is sitting right with the flip top. Once again, thanks to you, everybody, for coming out, supporting.
Carcano, a left-handed batter, has been the Dolphins' leadoff hitter for much of the last 4 seasons as she takes low. Count 2-1 on Carcano. And that misses low. 3-1 now on the Dolphins center fielder. And Carcano, not a base runner that you want to put on opening the game if you're the Marauders. Hannah Chambers in the circle for the Marauders, and she has the first out of the game on a 4-3 putout. Carcano retired to open up the home first, and Eileen Balderas will be the batter. When Mariah Carcano did not lead off last year, it was often Balderas. And she takes high for ball 1. Balderas, winner of the CSI Athletics Female Athlete of the Year award last year at the Finnies. Got off to a torrid start at the spring games in 2024 as she takes a knee-high strike. Count 1-1 on the Dolphins shortstop. Chambers looks in and delivers. Up and away, ball 2. Balderas ahead 2-1. Chambers has now fallen behind the first 2 batters she's faced. Comes the 2-1. And that's hit in the air out toward right center field. That will find the gap for an extra base hit, and it will roll all the way to the base of the fence. Balderas headed for third, and she is in with a triple.
Excellent job, Joe, stretching that from a double to a triple.
We do apologize for the silence on our live stream. Unfortunately, I also have to attend to our baseball games back at home. They're having a scoreboard issue over there right now, so I'm trying to walk them through that. Meanwhile, here in Florida, Anissa Acosta has driven in the first Dolphins run of this trip as she singles home Eileen Balderas following a 1-out triple, and the Dolphins have now gotten even 1-1. That prompted a circle visit from the Marauders dugout. And the discussion is ongoing in the circle right now as the Dolphins have drawn even. Acosta the runner over at first, and when the action resumes, it will be Amanda Stalker coming to the plate. If our audio does go out at any point and the live stream is still online, know that that was intentional. I have the audio levels on my screen. If the audio was to go out unexpectedly, I would be aware and attend to it very quickly. But with multiple events going on at once, back at home and here in Florida, my attention, unfortunately, is divided as that pitch is taken low by Stalker for ball 1. Stalker, a player who really came on in the second half for the Dolphins last year, now batting out of the cleanup spot. She gets the start in right field today. And she hits one on the ground softly to short. Could be 2, and they do not turn the double play. 6-4 on the putout at second. Stalker is safe at first as she reaches on the fielder's choice. And there are now 2 away. That will bring up Olivia Warner. Warner, a player who had a knack for run-scoring hits last year. Chance here with an extra base hit to perhaps give CSI the lead as she takes outside. Warner ahead 1-0. And that's it right back to the circle off the handle of the bat. It is snagged by Chambers and the inning is over. But not before the Dolphins get even on an RBI single by Anissa Acosta. We are through one in Claremont. The score even at 1. And we are back for the start of the second inning from Claremont as Alexis Miramontes misses outside with ball 1. At the plate for the Marauders, Francesca Villaneda. Villaneda, the starting first baseman for you, Mary. And she takes low. So for those who are experiencing audio issues, try reducing your stream quality down to the minimum allowed resolution. What we are going to do ahead of game 2 is drop the video quality on the stream down to the minimum allowed, which I believe is 360p. And that should give us a bit more wiggle room for a better connection here. We were hoping to have video at 720p, but it looks like that may have to go on the back burner for the sake of our audio. Count 2-1 on Villaneda following a foul ball. Pitch from Miramontes on its way. And that's hit out toward right center, and that will find the gap for another extra base hit. Villaneda headed for second. The throw comes in offline, and Villaneda slides in safely with a leadoff double. The third extra base hit of this game between the two teams. And the Marauders are in business here in the second inning. That will bring up Madison Szymanski. Szymanski, a left-handed batter. First pitch from Miramontes on its way, and that's on the outside corner for a called strike 1. Long look in ahead of the 0-1. And that misses outside. Count even at 1-1 strike on the Marauders' designated hitter. And that's blooped foul down the third base line, out of play. Count runs to 1-2. Miramontes ahead, 1-2 strikes. Looking for the first out here in the second. And that's fouled straight back. Count remains 1-2 on Szymanski. Villaneda, the runner, over at second. Nobody out. And that's fouled off again. Battle brewing here between Miramontes and Szymanski. Szymanski remains behind, 1-2 strikes. Another 1-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. A good off-speed pitch from Miramontes gets Szymanski swinging. And there's now one away in the inning as Tracy Garofalo heads out to the circle. So a discussion now between the Dolphins head coach and her infield along with the pitcher Miramontes. Due up to the plate here for the Marauders is Caitlin Falk. Falk having a discussion with her third base coach as well. Typically, that is the head coach coaching third. That would be Amy Schmeckpepper. Action set to resume. Miramontes looks in. And the first pitch to Falk is low for ball one. Here comes the 1-0. And that's on the inside corner for a called strike one. The 1-1 pitch is hit in the air, foul territory, down the right field line, and no Dolphin will get there. Stalker, Warner, and Acosta all converged on it, but none could run it down. And the count goes to 1-2. Miramontes would love another strikeout here if she can get it. One away here in the second. The Marauders with a runner in scoring position. Here comes the 1-2. And that's dribbled on the ground to first. Acosta has it, steps on the bag, throws across the diamond, but that throw is not in time. The Dolphins get the out at first, and Villaneda moves up to third. Two away in the inning now, and Emma Kimberling will be the batter. And Kimberling fouls the first pitch straight back. So Villaneda now stands on third with two away. Following a leadoff double, Miramontes hoping to escape unscathed here in the second. The Marauders looking to go in front by at least a run. Comes the 0-1. And that misses down and away. The 1-1 pitch coming. And that sails high, ball two. Miramontes now behind Kimberling, 2-1. Behind Kimberling, it's back to the top of the order. Standing on deck is Chloe Robinson. That's fouled away. Count now 2-2. Miramontes one strike away from getting out of the second. Unofficially, we have Miramontes at 33 pitches. Two-two. It's hit well out into the right field corner, but foul. That was a scorching line drive toward the right field corner, but it tailed foul. And the count remains even at 2. Pitch number 35 coming up for the CSI senior and team captain this year, along with Mariah Carcano and Denisa Acosta. Pitch in the dirt, ball 3. The count runs full on Kimberling. Robinson hoping for a chance behind her. Miramontes hoping for a big third out. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that is chopped foul straight back down into home plate and the batter's box. Count remains full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's it sharply to short. Balderas has it go through her, and it trickles toward the outfield. That's going to be an infield single on the play for Kimberling. Tough chance for Balderas. And the Marauders have gone in front 2-1. That was a hard ground ball hit to the right of Balderas, She got a glove on it, but it got through her and onto the lip of the infield dirt in shallow left field. So Chloe Robinson will get a chance with a runner on first. Still 2 outs. And U Mary now leads Staten Island 2-1. Robinson behind 0-1 after a first pitch foul ball, and she takes outside. Robinson bunts foul, and it's now 1-2. So Miramontes, with another 2-strike count here, has a chance to get out of this, limiting the damage to 1. Comes the 1-2, and that's high. Some good at-bats here by the Marauders here in the second inning. They've made Miramontes work. Here comes the 2-2. And that's taken down and away, runner going. And the runner is out at second. Caught stealing 2-6. And Kimberling is erased to retire the side. But not before the Marauders get a run in the second. They now lead Staten Island 2-1. Home second inning about to get underway from Claremont here at the Spring Games. Joe Foreman on the call alongside Joe Calabrese. Dolphins now trail 2-1 after the University of Mary tacked on a run in the second inning. Leadoff double chased home on an infield single. And the Dolphins will hope to get even or take the lead here in the home half of inning number 2. Bridget Motley the batter, and she looks at a strike. Motley began her emergence as a freshman here in Florida last season. Ultimately earned the starting job at third base, and she's quickly behind here 0-2. Comes the 0-2. That's fouled off. Throughout the season, we saw Motley make some really nice plays over at third base as the Dolphins battled for a playoff spot until the final day of the regular season. And that's hit sharply to second. Fielded there cleanly. Throw a bit wide of first, but it's reeled in to retire Motley for out number 1. That will bring up Olivia Wanzer. Wanzer with a tremendous rookie season last year. Several Dolphins last year had monster years at the plate. Wanzer among them. Anissa Acosta had a big season, and of course Eileen Balderas. And now Wanzer's quickly ahead 2-0. Base is empty, 1 away here in the home second. And Wanzer goes up the ladder after that fastball and swings through it for strike 1. Count 2-1 on the Dolphins' designated hitter. Now 3-1. Alyssa Acosta stands on deck. And that misses high for ball 4. So Wanzer draws a 1-out walk. And Alyssa Acosta comes to bat with a runner on and 1 away.
You would have to go up there.
So Joe was being questioned about the video on the live stream. Apparently the camera here on field 4 is not pointed in the right direction. We have a camera that can be pointed in the right direction.
We have a camera that could be pointed in the right direction.
And we're about to point it. We're doing it, Joe.
Yeah, so they're to the right of me up high.
The video may not be good because of internet connectivity.
Right, there's a camera directly above us behind home plate to the right.
That's all I needed
Joe
to hear.
and
The
I.
camera's not pointed at the field. That's all I needed to hear. Joe and Joe to the rescue. As Acosta lofts one out into shallow center for a base hit. And the Dolphins have 2 on with 1 out here in the second.
It's going to be very interesting, Joe, because one thing that head coach Tracy Garofalo emphasized this season is that the Dolphins, the plan is for them to be more aggressive on the base paths. So what we saw from them in the first inning was what looked like a routine double stretched out to a triple. That triple eventually scored the first run of the game for the Dolphins. So manufacturing runs here through the base running is going to be very important for them moving forward.
And that one's blooped into center for another Dolphins hit. Both runners move up a base, and Madeline Paul delivers a 1-out single. CSI now has the bases loaded.
We have the top of the order coming up, Joe, here. So the Dolphins have the opportunity here with 1 out to be able to do some damage. Down 1.
We're very close to getting our camera set up, Joe. As Mariah Carcano fouls that away. Now, I do have to make sure that the picture is not inverted, and it is, so we'll fix that. Well, it's a bit windy, but hopefully it stays steady enough. All right, let's see if that works. Carcano behind 0-2 here.
Just late on those first 2 pitches.
And Carcano looks at a called strike 3. They throw behind Paul, who was caught too far off of first. And fortunately, she's able to get back for her, because if they were ready for that snap throw over at first, I think they had her. Break there for the Dolphins as Carcano goes down on strikes, but now Chambers has to deal with Eileen Balderas. And Balderas takes up high. Comes the 1-0. Outside, ball 2. And time has been called behind home plate.
There's another ball in the field of play. So that's happened a couple of times here. Scattered throughout the fields are pretty appropriately set apart, but yeah, like I said, ball on the field, so we're going to resume right now.
All right, Joe, don't tell anybody, but we're live with video.
Promise
that
I won't.
Pitch misses low. All I needed to hear is that the camera is not pointed at the field of play, and that's fair game now.
So let's reset here.
The audience tried to pay. They are not getting what they paid for.
Let's reset here. Balderas is now ahead in the count, 3-0. So it's going to be very interesting. What is your philosophy here? Because, you know, assuming we take one,
you have
right?
To take
you
one.
have to take one.
In a one-run
you have
game,
to take.
It is early. I think you have.
It
to
is
take
early,
one.
but you have to take 2.
No.
Not yet.
No.
Right.
I
2's
think,
still early in the game.
I think a bottom of the order hitter, you consider taking 2. You do not have Balderas take 2. I don't think.
Well, let's see.
I'm inclined to say Tracy would agree with that. She may let her swing here, but she does take 1.
Absolutely, taking all the way. That is the correct decision. Now you're ahead, 3-1.
Yeah, with the year she had last year, if anyone would be allowed to swing in that situation, it's Balderas.
This is going to be very interesting here. Let's see if she gets the green light, Joe.
Comes the 3-1.
She does.
And that's hit well out
She's
to
got a
left center field, toward the wall, and it lands at the base of the fence. Mets. 3 runs will come in to score, and it's a bases-clearing 3 RBI double for Eileen Balderas.
Sitting dead red on that fastball, Joe. Whew, she smoked that.
What a shot by Balderas. A 3 RBI extra base hit has put the Dolphins in front 4-2. At the plate now, Anissa Acosta, and she lines one straight into the glove of the first baseman, Villaneda. She saved the run, Joe.
She did save a run.
She saved a run with another snag at first. That ball was a rocket off the bat, and Villaneda denies the Dolphins a 5th run with that play to bring the second inning to a close. But not before the Dolphins score 3 times on a bases-clearing RBI double by Eileen. And we are back from Claremont. Dolphins now lead 4-2 as that pitch is taken low by Chloe Robinson for ball 1. Robinson was at the plate when the last inning ended on a caught stealing for the Marauders. As long as nobody gets too loose-lipped and overly excited, we're going to try and bring you video the rest of the week. Just keep it on the down low. Keep it on the down low, everyone.
Will do, Joe. Will do.
The question is whether or not we can actually stream with video and maintain quality. That's the question. The internet is not good. We're in the swamplands. Or at least I drove through the swamplands to get here.
You had quite a drive to get here, Joe. Driving from the west side of the state to the central portion of the state.
Yep. Southwestern coast in Naples, up to Claremont this morning. 1-2 the count on Robinson, and she takes outside. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Robinson chops one back to Miramontes, who makes the throw to first in time, 1 away.
So far, Joe, she's effectively using that outer half of the plate to her advantage.
And we saw it earlier in the game, speaking of that location. That's where she put that drop pitch to get the big strikeout that came with nobody out in the second. That outer half. And we've seen it during her time with the program. Miramontes has a good off-speed pitch.
The other thing that head coach Tracy Garofalo was talking to me about, she goes, she's got one of the best slide off pitches, dip pitches that she's seen of any girl that she's coached.
And we've noted that covering her over the last 4 seasons, and didn't see a lot of use last year. Was heavily used each of the 2 seasons prior, as that pitch misses low. But if she can get the Dolphins through this first game with a win, that really sets you up well in terms of pitching for the rest of the week. Now, I'm not saying a complete game victory, but if she can give you a strong outing in this one, go deep and not leave the bullpen to get more than maybe 3 to 6 outs.
And that is something that we're going to watch as the game progresses, because in those first 2 innings, she threw, what, 34, 35 pitches?
We have her at 50 right now.
Right. So she was approaching 40 through the first 2, and now she's above 50. So that pitch count, especially going into the 4th and 5th innings, is something to monitor as the game goes on.
That's hit softly to third. Motley sure-handed has it and throws out Malari for out number 2.
But this will help, Joe, if she can make somewhat quick outs over here, not use up too much more of the pitch count, kind of still keep that low.
Well, a quick out here could go a long way toward reestablishing an efficient pitch count. It's pretty good right now. It could be really good if you get an out quickly here. At the plate for the Marauders, Ariana Ratuda. She's ahead 1-0. Ratuda reached with 2 outs in the first, came around to score, and she takes a called strike on the outside corner. Comes the 1-1. And that's low for ball 2. Two one. It's fouled away, and the count evens up at 2-2. Miramontes one strike away from getting through the third with a 2-run lead. Dolphins have battled back from behind twice, trailed 1-0 and 2-1. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that's hit softly right in front of the plate. Miramontes has to hurry, throw to first in time. And the side is retired. Miramontes with a nice play, sprinting out of the circle to make that throw to first. And the Marauders go down 1-2-3 in the third. Staten Island leads UMary 4-2. And we're back for the home half of the third inning in Claremont. Dolphins lead 4-2. They will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. Stalker, Warner, and Motley. And Stalker takes outside, ball 1. Comes the 1-0 on the inside corner for a called strike. CSI Baseball is in action. Our colleague Nick Bavona and on color commentary today, John Venezia. Both on the call over at Staten Island University Hospital Community Park, where I am told it is very cold.
Oh, is it? It was nice out yesterday over there.
Really?
Yeah, it got up to about 60, and then it kind of tailed off as the day went on.
All right.
But over here, it's about 75, 76. Sun's
as the
out,
day went on, you were here in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Stalker lofts one. Shallow right center, and off the glove of the reaching second baseman. Good effort there, ranging back and just getting a glove on that ball before it landed in the outfield by Malari, but she couldn't make the grab. And Stalker is on with a leadoff single.
So after we had plated runs in the first 4 half frames of this game, Joe, the Marauders came up in the top of the third without a run. So with the leadoff runner here on for the Dolphins, Joe, could very well be looking at third consecutive half inning to start with runs here for CSI.
Well, the Dolphins in their first games of the season at Chestnut Hill were pretty good offensively. They won via the run rule in game 2. But this Dolphins team, as we saw last year, for the most part, can score with just about anybody. Late in games, when they needed outs in relief, that's where they really ran into trouble. Late in the game, if their starter did not give them 6 or even 7, closing out games was problematic. That being said, they played some thrillers last year, specifically in conference play. And if those games, even one of them, had gone the other way, they could have been a playoff team last year. They lost 2 heartbreakers against Mercy on the road early in the season. Count 1-2 here, and Olivia Warner takes high.
That was a good take there, Joe. That was about letters high.
That last pitch
very could have been called either way.
It's now 2-2. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Dolphins' second baseman. And Warner takes a called strike 3. Chambers picks up the strikeout looking, and there's one away in the home third.
That was really a great placement, Joe. You couldn't do anything with that. Letters high, right over the edge of the plate. Really good pitch, very, very difficult to kind of decipher once it comes in.
At the plate now, Bridget Motley, and she fouls the first pitch off. Motley behind 0-1. And Motley takes in the dirt. Behind Motley, Olivia Wanzer stands on deck. Comes the 1-1. That's fouled off again. Count now 1-2. One and two, misses outside. Count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the Dolphins' third baseman. Stalker, the runner over at first, reached on a bloop single to open the inning. And Motley hits one to center. And the basket catch was made on the move out in center field. Making that play on the run was Robinson, and there are 2 gone.
That was a really, really good swing, but it seems like it kind of just went
got
up the
it on the hands
handle
bit.
just a
Yeah,
little bit.
Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth, Joe. Got in under just enough. 2 gone now. Olivia Wanzer, the batter. And she takes low for ball 1. And the 1-0 is blooped into shallow right field for a base hit. And the Dolphins now have 2 on in the inning with 2 out. That will bring up Alyssa Acosta. Acosta, left-handed batter. That does draw the corners in a bit. And Acosta takes a strike. Acosta is 1 for 1 at the plate in this game. And she's quickly in a 2-strike hole. Comes the 0-2, and that misses low and away. Count 1-2 on the Dolphins' left fielder. If Acosta can keep the inning going, Madeline Paul would be next. Comes the 1-2, and that's popped up on the infield. Easy play there, and the side is retired. So the Dolphins strand 2 in the third, and they are held without a run for the first time in a half inning during this game. We head to the 4th here in Claremont, Staten Island, over U Mary, 4-2. And we are back from the spring games in Claremont. The Dolphins have a 4-2 lead at the start of the 4th inning. First pitch of the 4th inning misses outside, ball 1. At the plate here, Soraya Perez. Perez 1 for 1 with a run batted in. Comes the 1-0. And that misses outside. So Miramontes quickly behind 2 balls and no strikes. Long look in ahead of the 2-0. That's fouled away. Count 2-1 on the Marauders' third baseman. Pitch number 60 coming up here for Miramontes. That misses low.
She keeps trying that drop pitch down lower in the zone. That time it missed.
I think outside of a 2-strike count, hitters would be inclined to lay it off. On a 2-1 count, maybe you think you're getting a strike. And there, Miramontes finds the zone. It's full 3-2.
Very good pitch there, Joe, right on the inner half of the plate. We'll see what she does with the full count.
Big pitch here. Dolphins obviously would love to get the leadoff batter out. The Marauders would love to get the leadoff batter on. And that is popped up on the infield. Motley calls, and she makes the catch for out number 1.
Excellent job there. Getting behind in the count, working your way back to a full count, and then getting that pop up to the third baseman.
One away. And at the plate for the Marauders will be Madison Hunter. And she fouls the first pitch off. Hunter is 0 for 1. Hugh Mary with 4 hits in this game. Staten Island with 7. Comes the 0-1. And that's on the inside corner. Miramontes quickly ahead of Hunter 0-2. And that's fouled off again. So Miramontes remains ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. They will dust off home plate here. Look in for Miramontes, and another 0-2 pitch. That's hit in the air, foul again.
And once more, ball. Oh, Joe, that ball goes onto the other field.
Well, I'm very glad to see there is netting overhead.
It is. There's netting above us. There's netting to the left of us, to the right of us, above the field. So we're well protected over here.
And that pitch sails high.
Tried to go up the chute, Joe. Went up a little too high.
And the 1-2 is grounded through the left side for a base hit. So Hunter is on with a 1-out single.
Seems like she took just a little something off of that pitch, but it wasn't that drop pitch that we've been seeing.
Well, there's the off-speed pitch she throws, and then another pitch that it looks like has a bit of extra bite to it.
Right. Body language on the mound seems like she feels like she got beat there.
First pitch on its way to Francesca Villaneda. That was fouled off. Villaneda 1 for 1 in this game. The Marauders with a 1-out base runner, trailing by a pair. The 0-1. It's hit sharply on the ground. Balderas has it, steps on second, and throws to first in time for the 6-6-3
And when she
double
needed
play.
it, she went to that drop pitch, and she induced a double play, Joe.
And that will do it for the Marauders here in the top half of the 4th. Staten Island leads it 4-2. And we're back for the home 4th inning. Staten Island leading U Mary 4-2. And Madeline Paul takes high for ball 1. Paul 1 for 1 at the plate in this game. Single to load the bases for the Dolphins before Eileen Balderas cleared them with a double. And that's a knee-high strike, 1-1.
And that caught stealing, Joe, which happened at the second inning, to end the second inning.
Yes.
You know, as of right now, it's only a 2-run lead, but a moment like that can prove significant.
No question. Also significant if you can do it. Get the leadoff batter on as many times as possible. Paul ahead here, 2-1. That's popped up on the infield into the sun, and Chambers has it, 1 away. Back to the top of the order now with Mariah Carcano. And Carcano slices that one foul off the facing of the Dolphins dugout. And that's lined into left center where a diving catch is made. What a play by Robinson. Full extension to her right on the backhand, and she makes the catch.
That's a web gem. Do they still do those, Joe?
Well, if they don't, they should start. We can
Really,
do it.
really nice play there.
We can do it after a play like that. What a play.
Two dead and a called strike here.
Comes the 0-1, and Balderas fouls that away.
And it is Balderas right now with the big hit of the game. That bases clearing double in the bottom of the second inning to give CSI that 4-2 lead.
That bases clearing hit, the difference right now. And if you are the Marauders here, you get to face Balderas in the exact situation you hope for. Bases empty, 2 outs. And the 1-2 is hit to third. Play there is made cleanly, and the throw to first is in time to retire Balderas. Dolphins go down 1-2-3 in the fourth. As we head to the fifth, CSI leads UMary 4-2. Madison Szymanski will lead off against Alexis Miramontes here in the fifth. The Dolphins lead it 4-2. And Miramontes misses outside with ball 1. Szymanski 0 for 1 at the plate with a strikeout. Bats here with the bases empty to lead off the fifth. Count now 1-1. She just got a piece of that. Well, they made a change, Joe, and I was told they would pass the changes along to me. They did not. It is a pinch hitter. So it is Ariane Sims at the plate. I'll have to change that. And she flies out to center. All right, good thing we caught it. And there's one away.
There's one away.
That will bring up Caitlin Falk. And Falk swings and misses for strike 1. Falk is 0 for 1 at the plate in this game. Long look in here for Miramontes. Shook off a sign and delivers. And that's lined right to Acosta at first base. 2 gone.
Oh, just a few pitches, Joe.
Oh, this is exactly the kind of inning that Miramontes was hoping for.
And you would figure with 2 outs here, quick work of either this next batter or the batter after, and she's going to come out for the 6th, right?
Well, in softball, it's not quite the same as baseball. You can go beyond 100 pitches, as that's lined into center for a base hit. And Kimberling is on with 2 away. But what I was going to say is you have the bottom third of the order here. If you can get that third of the order, 1, 2, 3, that's ideally what you'd like to do against the bottom of the lineup. Miramontes couldn't get the third out. And Joe, at what point did they make a change in center field? Because Robinson is not batting here. So another pinch hitter grounds one through the left side for a base hit. That was Janelle Bergman at the plate. So Bergman singles through the left side. And just like that, the Marauders have 2 on in the inning with 2 outs. So these changes, Joe, either were made in between innings or were passed along to the umpire before the inning, because none of them were given to me.
Well, I'm sitting next to you, so if they would have been given to you, I would have seen it.
Yes.
My guess is that they were at the top of the inning, right? So.
Well, the DH slot would have been changed now. The question is, who made that great catch in center field? It might not have been Robinson. If they switched center fielders going into the inning and we didn't see it, it would have been Bergman who made the catch. But back here, it's tough to tell. Also, players can re-enter, so you have that factor as well. That's hit to straightaway right, and Stalker made that catch out of shoestrings.
You know, if Nick Durst was down here, what he would say, right?
What?
Stalker stalking that down and right.
He definitely would
say
that.
He absolutely would say that. Shout out, Nick. We know you're listening to the baseball and softball broadcasts. And that will conclude the top of the 5th inning here, Joe.
So Janelle Malari retired on the F9, and the Marauders are retired in the 5th. They strand 2 on base. Staten Island still leads it 4-2. And we are back from Claremont. Change for the Marauders following that pair of pinch hitters in the inning, or at least what we thought were a pair of pinch hitters. Behind the plate now to catch is Sims. Falk now the DP. At the plate here for the Dolphins, Anissa Acosta. Count even on Acosta at 1-1. And that skips in for ball 2. Acosta 1 for 2 with a run batted in this game. Dolphins lead it by 2. There's been no scoring in this game since back in the 2nd inning. Both starters still in there as Acosta fouls that one away. Two-two, grounded sharply to the left side, played on the backhand, it's short. And the throw across the diamond is in time to retire Acosta. Nice play there on the infield by Ratuda, and there's one away. That will bring up Amanda Stalker. Stalker's 1 for 2. Stalker quickly gets ahead 1-0. And that's on the outside corner for a called strike one.
Stalker, big reason why this game is still 4-2, Joe. Nice running catch and
That was a big play there. If that inning continues, things could have gotten out of control as Stalker hits one well to left center, and that is cut off in the gap. Stalker will try for two as it hits off the glove of the left fielder Kimberling and rolled all the way to the fence. So the Dolphins now have another runner in scoring position following that double by Stalker, and Olivia Warner will come to the plate with the Dolphins looking to add to their lead. That's hit sharply to third, guarding the line and throwing out Warner on that play was Perez, and she had to react quickly in the hot corner.
Because she reacted quickly, Joe, she was able to keep Stalker on second.
Two gone in the inning now. And Bridget Motley will be the batter. Olivia Wands are on deck. Motley behind 0-1. Motley 0 for 2 at the plate, fouls that one off, and she's quickly in a two-strike hole. Comes the 0-2. That's out of the zone. Chambers looking to get through 5 here. Dolphins with a runner on second, nearly added another, but it's off the glove of Chambers and into the glove of her shortstop, Ratuda.
She's smiling like she's all right. She's waving. Could have been very, very dangerous, but that is a really great play.
1-6-3, and the inning is over following a rocket shot by Bridget Motley. The Dolphins strand a runner in scoring position and will make a pitching change entering the 6th when we come back. I think that's 9. Yeah. Our side, I'll be pretty good. And we're back from Claremont. We just got to listen behind the scenes. The changes were passed to us during the break, and as I mentioned, it will be a new Dolphins pitcher. Marina Grenier in there for CSI. The Dolphins looking to her for potentially 3 outs, maybe 6. She will face 3, 4, and 5 for the Marauders here in the road 6th inning. And Joe, since the first 2 innings, it's been a pitcher's duel.
It has been a pitcher's duel. Miramontes gave him 5 really, really good innings.
After making that unorthodox play to end the last inning, Ariana Ratuda dribbles one in front of the plate. Throw to first, and the cover by Warner in time.
Oof.
Nicely done by Paul and Warner on that play, and there's quickly one gone.
Head coach Tracy Garofalo, Very, very excited about that play, as she should be. That was very, very well covered.
First pitch misses to Perez. So officially 2-4 on that putout. Had to score it quickly. And Soraya Perez hits one to second. Another chance for Warner, and there are two gone. So
Two
quick
putouts
outs
for Warner, 2 outs.
Grenier working, as I mentioned, against 3-4-5. 2 very quick outs for her. And now Madison Hunter will be the batter. Hunter at the plate, 1 for 2. And she's ahead here, 1-0. Comes the 1-0 on the inside corner for a called strike. The 1-1. Hit through the left side for a base hit. And once again, the Marauders with 2 outs get a base runner, and we've seen that a lot in this game. Two-out hitting, quality at bats with 2 outs. Something that the Marauders have done really well. And they look to keep the inning going now. At the plate here will be Francesca Villaneda. And she's behind 0-1. Villaneda's 1 for 2 at the plate. Looks to keep this inning going. And that is hit off the glove of Acosta and down the line. Going first to third is Hunter, and Villaneda is on with her second base hit of the game.
Sliced just enough to be out of her reach, Joe, and inside the chalk.
Acosta needed about another inch, and she had that one. It just caught the webbing of her glove, and now Ariane Sims will have a chance here in her second at-bat of the game to potentially make this a 1-run game and perhaps even tie it with an extra base hit. With the tying run at first, I was looking to see maybe if they'd consider a pinch runner here. You often see that, and indeed they will. So pinch runner coming in.
We have number 1, Joe.
That one for the live stats. Cassidy Bagnell will be the pinch runner over at first. We'll get that input quickly. And a huge spot here at the plate for Sims. They'll do a helmet swap over at first. And we're ready to go. Big at-bat in this game. Sims at the plate, Grenier in the circle. 2 outs, and that's dribbled foul. The Marauders down to their final 4 outs. Looking to make this a 1-run ball game. Comes the 0-1. And that's in for a strike. Throw goes to second, and it gets away! It's off Warner's glove. And the Marauders steal a run on the stolen base attempt at second. The Dolphins' plan was to cut it off and come home, but the ball hit off of Warner's glove. Now, Joe.
It's a difficult decision there because...
Are you giving that a throwing error? Was it low enough?
You know what? I really don't think it was low enough for a throwing error, but I think the decision to make the throw...
Because that's probably an error on somebody. The question is, where's the error going?
Right. If that's the case, then I think you have to give the error to the catcher in that situation.
I think so as well. I didn't get a good look because my line of sight is
The
directly
throw,
through
the
home
throw
plate.
wasn't offline in really any way.
It's a 50-50 call.
Right.
Maybe the video gives us some clarity later as Grenier gets the strikeout. Joe and I will talk about this one. We'll go back to the video. And
Yes.
when we come back, it's now a 1-run lead for the Dolphins. It's 4-3. And we're back from Claremont, where the Dolphins lead it 4-3. Officially, it's going to be an E4, allowing that run to score. That throw was right on line. It just hit off of Warner's glove. The timing may have been a bit off.
That's what I think
cut
the
ball
issue was
off,
there,
but
Joe,
I think
because
that's an
Werner
E4.
was coming into her right, and Madeline Paul once again made a great throw like she did in the second inning. Unfortunately, not enough time there. It was a bang-bang play. A run did come in to score. So now we are in the bottom of the sixth inning, Joe, and it is a 4-3 game, a 1-run lead for the Dolphins.
And it was a strikeout swinging to end the inning, correct, for the stats?
Yes.
All right. So Villaneda re-enters over at first base. Olivia Wanzer leads off for the Dolphins. And she's ahead in the count very quickly here, 3-0. The Dolphins now clinging to a 1-run lead. Chambers back in the circle for the Marauders. And she issues a 4-pitch leadoff walk. I think it's about that time for a pinch runner again,
Absolutely,
Joe.
we have a pinch runner coming in. Head coach Tracy Garofalo coming to the ump here. We'll get the number of the pinch runner in a minute. Looks like 76. That is correct.
Pinch runner will be Deanna Dubois. And a pitching change as well on the other side, so we'll get that in as well. New pitcher for Mary will be Aria Johnson. Johnson coming on, inheriting a runner on first with nobody out here in the home sixth inning. The Dolphins looking for some insurance when we come back. Alyssa Acosta, the batter, nobody out. Here in the home sixth, the Dolphins got the leadoff batter on. Pinch runner is Deanna Dubois over at first base. First pitch to Acosta, down and away, ball 1.
Now, remember I told you early in the game, Joe, head coach Tracy Garofalo told me that her team is going to be much more aggressive on the base paths. We saw that situation from the last half inning, score a run for the Marauders. So, it'll be very interesting to see what Dubois does over here at first base, how far her lead is, and if they decide to send her at all.
Count on Acosta 1-1. She shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 2. Acosta now in the driver's seat, ahead 2-1. The corners remain in. Acosta shows bunt, lays it down right in front of the plate, and it was mishandled. And now Dubois hung up between second and third. 2-5-6. Dubois is out on what would have been an error behind the plate, allowing Acosta to reach. Joe, you might have to take over as I score this one.
Absolutely. So what happened here is that Dubois turned from second to third, and what I just tell you about 2 minutes prior, the decision to be aggressive on the base paths, that's really what ultimately cost them here. And there's 1 out, 1 runner on here, Joe, but what they've effectively done is trade base runners.
All right, we got it.
We got
so
everything?
Acosta reaches on the error.
Yes.
And then Dubois is out.
Gets caught up in the
2-5-6
rundown.
at second base.
That's right.
Count now 1-1 on Madeline Paul. They're not making it easy on me, Joe.
No, not making it easy on us at all.
And this is just the first game. As that gets away, wild pitch, and Acosta will move up to second.
So now the Dolphins have another runner in scoring position with 1 out here, Joe. They left the runner on second base earlier on in the game.
Well, they had a runner in scoring position moments ago for about 5 seconds. That's dribble foul. I think what Dubois was expecting was a throw to first.
Yes,
And she just
she
didn't
never
stop.
got there. She didn't stop.
Yep.
Because the third baseman played her position, and she was at third the whole time.
And that's lofted out to right, and initially breaking in on that ball in right field. Nearly losing that play was Hunter, but fortunately she settled underneath it, made the catch. Staying at second is Acosta, and there are now 2 gone. Mariah Carcano will be the batter. Carcano 0 for 3 with a strikeout.
Very
and
aggressive
she has
swing
her
in the first pitch.
And they throw to third. Acosta just slid in there ahead of the tag. Look how far in the outfield was, Joe.
That
That
was
saved the
incredible.
run.
Yeah, that really, really saved the run. But what we saw there was a little exchange there before she came up to the plate. So it seems like the decision was to be aggressive and jump on that first pitch opportunity immediately.
Job well done by Carcano. There's a swing and a
And
miss
once
by
again,
Eileen Balderas.
swinging through, but swinging at the first pitch. They must have seen something that allows them to kind of make that decision, Joe.
Well, the Dolphins are thrilled. They got Balderas to the plate in this spot. Chance to do some damage here with 2 outs, but that won't do it. Grounded to third, throw to first in time, and that will do it for the Dolphins in the home 6th inning. CSI strands runners on the corners, and we head to the 7th. The Marauders down to their final 3 outs. And we are back for the road 7th inning here in Claremont. The Dolphins with a 1-run lead over the University of Mary. And for the Marauders, they are going to have pinch hitters coming up in this inning. Those changes have already been passed along to us. At the plate here for the first time today is Genevieve Hastings. She takes up and away for ball 1. Marina Grenier back to the circle for CSI here in the 7th. And very quickly, her infield gathers around, and it looks like there might be a divot, but no conference is the home plate umpire's ruling, and we're set to resume with a 1-0 count. And Hastings takes a strike, 1-1. Comes the 1-1, and that is swung on and missed for strike 2. Grenier ahead of Hastings now, 1-2. That is just off the outside corner. Count even at 2 now. With your Grenier here, 1 swing can't beat you in this spot. Have to attack. Comes the 2-2. And that's fouled off. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes in a 1-run game. Top half of the 7th, Staten Island over UMary, 4-3. 2-2 in the dirt. So another good at bat here for the Marauders. This time it's Hastings, and it's her first plate appearance of the game. As Madeline Paul was conversing with her dugout briefly. The count now full. The Marauders hoping to get the leadoff batter on. The Dolphins hoping for a big first out. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that was in on the hand. Certainly ball 4. And Hastings fought it off foul. Bit of a defensive cut there on 3-2.
Very protective inside out swing.
We'll do it again here, 3-2. Another full count offering. Is fouled back again. A 10-pitch at bat now. Quite the battle brewing here between Grenier and Hastings. And we've seen this many times throughout this game. This is definitely one of the longer softball games I've covered in a while. Long look in ahead of another 3-2. And that's on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Hastings goes down looking, and Marina Grenier has a big first out. Emma Kimberling will be the batter now. Kimberling at the plate, 2 for 2 with a run batted in, and she looks at a strike. Comes the 0-1. And that's fouled back.
I'm pretty sure it hit off the camera.
It sure did hit the post, Joe. That was a ringer.
Not quite off the crossbar, but.
You and I are used to ringers calling hockey.
That's right.
We're missing the season finale.
We are missing the season finale.
Are we back in time for playoffs?
I think so.
All right, that's good to hear. That's blooped over Acosta and down the right field line. Warner cut it off behind the first base bag, and just getting enough of that was Kimberling for a 1-out single.
I think her initial step in, she couldn't quite recover. And the Marauders have 1 on with 1 out.
Do you call that a single to first base?
I call
or
that a
single
single.
Along the right field line?
First base.
Then we're in agreement.
Yeah, we are in agreement. Didn't leave the infield.
So 1 out with a runner on. And at the plate here is Janelle Bergman. I think it may have been Bergman who made the diving catch in center field earlier. We were not past a defensive substitution. We found Bergman in the game as she came to the plate. And she's quickly in a 2-strike hole. Bergman singled her first time up. She's 1 for 1. And now behind here 0-2. Grenier is in command. 2-strike pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Marina Grenier, and the Marauders are now down to their final out.
Great decision there by Grenier to attack her directly. Went up in the zone a little bit. Got the swinging strike for the second out.
That pitch misses for ball 1. We have another pinch hitter here for the Marauders in a huge spot. That change was actually passed to us before the inning. But Kelsey Michelle will be the pinch hitter here. Kimberling the runner at first, now 2 gone in the road 7th. You Mary down to their final out. Michelle ahead in the count, 1-0. Comes the 1-0. That's fouled away. Grenier, not afraid to work inside to these hitters, has really come at them in this inning. Definitely a good change of pace from Miramontes, who worked away quite a bit.
Yes, she did.
The 1-1. Fouled off again. And you Mary is down to their final strike.
Now with the same decision she faced with the last batter, Joe, she's going to attack her once again, going up to shoot a little bit.
I think you have 1 pitch to waste here.
Right.
Not sure I'd use it, but
I think she may be working towards the outer half of the plate on this pitch.
She's been late on the inner half here. I might go back there again.
Just tried to attack her going up again.
She tried to attack, but missed way upstairs.
But that's
That
okay.
had some
Once
extra on it, Joe.
yeah, I was going to say, we had a pitch to waste there. That did have a little extra on it. No swinging strike this time around as the count evens out at 2-2.
I don't know if Grenier intended to go that high. Count even at 2. Pitch on its way. And that's popped up. Shallow right field. Who's going to get there? It's Warner making the diving catch. And that will do it. The Dolphins hold on to win by a run as Olivia Warner extends into foul ground to make a diving catch for the game's final out. Our final score, Staten Island 4 and UMary 3. What a play by Warner to end this game. And Marina Grenier comes in to record a 6-out save. Alexis Miramontes is the winner. And the Dolphins now improve to 3-0 on the young season.
Excellent win, Joe. Most of the runs in this game were scored at the beginning. Really good pitching for both sides. Held out from the third inning on, but once again, it was CSI preserving that 2-run lead. The Morados made it 4-3, made it quite interesting there in the final 2 frames. But nonetheless, the Dolphins pick up a win and their 3rd win of the young season.
Well, if you're head coach Tracy Garofalo and this Dolphins team, you have to be pretty happy with how that game went. You spent 2 pitchers. They got just enough offense, and in the end, their defense came through with a big play there at the end of the game. They did make some big plays along the way as well. But the Dolphins are right back at it in approximately 45 minutes. So until then, Joe and I will step off headset. When we come back, head over to our link for stream number 2. Our stream's all numbered 1 through 10. This week, you can view all of the games live and on demand on our CSI Sportsnet YouTube channel. Be sure to check them out. Joe and I back in about 45 minutes with CSI's 2nd outing here at the 2025 Spring Games.